The cache, Landrum incident was an unidentified flying object sighting in the United States in 1980, which witnesses claimed was responsible for causing health and property damage, uncharacteristically for such UFO reports. This resulted in civil court proceedings, though the case ended in a dismissal. Pickerel is a depiction of the UFO. I never hear anyone talking about this anymore, and years ago it was a fairly common thread here on /x/. The reason I don't dismiss this one is due to the number of skeptics and even ufologists who came out to debunk it. On top of that, main witnesses and claimants of said lawsuits were hardcore Christians that thought it was originally the Second Coming. To their surprise, however, along with the other witnesses that night, they all suffered from nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, generalized weakness, burning eyes, and feeling as though they were suffering from sunburns. Over the next few days, one of the witnesses, Cash, said her symptoms worsened, with many large, painful blisters forming on her skin. When taken to a hospital emergency room on January 3, 1981, Clark writes, Cash could not walk, and had lost large patches of skin and clumps of hair. She was released after 12 days, though her condition was not much better, and she later returned to the hospital for another 15 days. In a 1985 HBO documentary, UFOs, What's Going On?, Cash's hair loss was shown in pictures, and she claimed doctors switched from treating her for burns to treating her for radiation sickness after realizing she had been exposed to radiation. Later, she was treated for cancer. She wasn't the only one to develop cancer after the event either. Could they have encountered some high-tech secret GovTech? I often believe most of the UFO reports are actually secret tech they hide from us. This would also help explain the lack of publicity of this incident, eventual scrubbing, and of course how their lawsuit was handled. With attorney Peter Gersten taking on the case pro bono, the case wound its way through the U.S. courts for several years. Cash and Landrum sued the U.S. federal government for $20 million. Testimony of officials from NASA, the Air Force, and the Army and Navy was given. Persuaded by their testimony, and other evidence, that no agency of the U.S. government possessed any such UFO, and that no military personnel had operated any of the reported helicopters, a U.S. District Court judge dismissed their case on August 21, 1986. I personally often see, and record, craft so high up in the sky at night that they appear farther than stars, moving often at the speed of high-speed jets and disappearing/reappearing constantly. Then again, the Cash Landrum family did report a shitload of black choppers after their incident, and the one time I for sure saw something unworldly, all kinds of jet/choppers came out of the woodwork afterwards, along with those craft I mentioned way the fuck up there. Get back in the car, please. I believe that she believed it at least. POV, you have discovered extraterrestrial life and the government is coming to congratulate you. Odd that she was exposed to such dangerous radiation and got so sick, but other close encounters experiences don't. Are the rest of them lying, or is she lying? Actually, radiation sickness is a common symptom of UAP exposure. MRS. Gene Hingley. My eyes were sore for about a week and I had to wear dark glasses. I have had to have some weeks away from work as I haven't felt well and the doctor advised me to have a rest. My jaws ached after staring with my mouth open with shock when I first saw the beings. I have never read books about UFOs. I only read the papers. I don't look at a lot of television, but like the Crossroads programs and Coronation Street, and love stories. We are all likely exposed to radiation and much more than we could ever imagine. Even what we eat is potentially radiated, thus the rampant cancers and tumors in our cattle/poultry. LMAO, I still think the old lady got drugged, man. They dosed with her some serious shit, probably LSD/mescaline/DMT all at once. It's just way too obvious Granny was drugged. I personally often see, and record, craft so high up in the sky at night that they appear farther than stars, moving often at the speed of high-speed jets and disappearing/reappearing constantly. Then again, the Cash Landrum family did report a shitload of black choppers after their incident, and the one time I for sure saw something unworldly, all kinds of jet/choppers came out of the woodwork afterwards, along with those craft I mentioned way the fuck up there. You've seen them too? Look like satellites but they change directions. Def not satellites lol. If you wanna call me 5 agents fairies, then yes, by all means. Why did me 5 agents break and enter into an elderly woman's home and drug her, deceive her into thinking they were fairies, mess with her Christmas tree, eat mince pie, and then leave? You have to read the story before you make the cover up. The fairies were clearly all part of her trip, bro. They were probably testing some concoction of drugs on a random person of the public. She was just a nice granny and wanted to offer her friendly little guests some minced pie, especially because she was so fucking high out of her mind. This was all likely just another Coultra-like experiment. Then again, she did have a husband, so he could have been the real/main target of said testing. His reaction to her phone call and story cracks me up every time though. LMAO. Oh no, is alien here to do its gonna do 80th blowjob divination? That's clearly a rocket, you retard. Look at chemical combustion at the bottom. Never said it wasn't GovTech, dumbass. In fact, made it pretty clear that I believe it was. Most likely nuclear powered above top secret craft. +1. Project Bluepeen.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile...
Are you a targeted individual? Have you had a paranormal encounter, or are the victim of an unregulated government experiment and would like to share your story with us? Would you like to send us some fan mail or a hate-filled rant? Do you have an idea for a future episode or wish to send a complaint to HR? Email us at atomicshaman@protonmail.com. Like, share, subscribe and be sure to check the notification bell. Follow the Atomic Shaman on Twitter at Motel and RV Park. Listen to Paranormal Green Text Stories on Atomic Shaman TTS on YouTube. Catch the live streams of Atomic Shaman Sweat Lodge only on Rumble.